man. How you doing?
Good, Joe. How are you?
Good, good. I'm sorry to hear you're a little under the weather, but I know
Yep,
you're a
yep.
trooper. You're going to pull through. Guys, welcome out there. Thanks for joining us. We are Real Estate Reality, and better than that, we are Urban Hillsides Real Estate. Darren Hubert and Joe Cloninger here to help you out and talk about real estate. Where every week, Tuesday at 2, we bring you into our weekly meeting of sorts about new listings, about sold listings recently, and then just some current topics that we think are important to stay aware of. And for this week, it's going to be 10 myths about the current market. And as we know, there are a lot of myths. We're going to try to break them down. There are 10, and we're going to discuss that. Okay. Darren, Christmas is coming very soon. I want you to
What?
know. I want you to know, man, some of the new little
Oh,
toys
wow.
are coming. So,
Fancy cameras.
yeah, guys, we've been doing this over a year now, and we've done it kind of with the technology that exists, but now we're getting high tech. We've got some really nice cameras, Darren. So,
Since we're moving up, can we just delete all the old episodes, all the training episodes?
but it's so wonderful to look back and say, "Wow, we've really
Yeah.
improved. We've done so much better."
It's not the first thought I have.
All right. Well, great. So let me go ahead. We are waiting for Choo Choo, uh, one of our friends here. I don't see her. So, Choo Choo, I hope you're out there and I hope you join us. If you aren't able to join us, Choo Choo and others, as you know, you can get this later on uh, at urbanhillsides.com and just pick up with us later. Okay. All right. So let me do the disclaimer. Darren Hubert and Joe Cloninger are real estate agents at Avenue 8 under the Urban Hillsides brand. All opinions expressed by Urban Hillsides or guests on this video are solely their opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Avenue 8. You should not treat any opinion expressed by Urban Hillsides as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or follow a particular strategy, but only as an expression of Urban Hillsides team's opinions. This video is for informational purposes only. All right. Well, there you go. Uh, so the title, as I look it up, is 10 Myths About the Current Market. Let me just punch it up, Darren. We'll get
Yeah,
started.
I was impressed with this. You get a lot of articles out there that are kind of either super obvious or not at to the meat and the
Mhm.
like most relevant components of what's going on in the market.
Right.
This one is a little bit for the buyer side, a little bit for the seller side,
Yeah.
and they're important things to understand. Um,
Well, that's the thing, as I was telling you, last week it touched on uh, buyers waiting out the market and the issues with that, depending upon who you are. But yeah, this is a nice sort of second part of that in terms of not only buyers need to think about this market, but also sellers. And as we know, we can all get a little lazy about it. And I think this gives us a reality of where we are and where we need to go. So,
yep.
all right. Well, beautiful graphic there. Busted 10 myths buyers and sellers believe about the current market. So, this comes from Inman.com. Again, real estate industry media source for a lot of agents and brokers across the nation. And it goes on here. In today's wild market, there are plenty of bad ideas on both sides of the buyer seller equation. Here's how to correct those misconceptions so that everyone can get what they want. Um, and that is really good what this person just said. So everyone can get what they want. That really is what it's about. It's not winners and losers. It's about what people can get on both sides. So this April, one of Inman's most, oh no, let me skip that. The current market has sellers thinking they've won the lottery, cashing out on their time and their terms. However, they are in a quandary about where to go. On the other hand, buyers are feeling defeated many times over before they start. Some have put in so many offers, they have grown weary and started to sit on the sidelines or put their search on pause, waiting for things to soften, whenever that might be. The current market is extremely challenging in different ways for both buyers and sellers. What are the top myths sellers and buyers believe, and how can you bring them back to reality? So, seller myth number one: No seller preparation is needed. We're broken records here, aren't we, Darren?
Mm.
Today's sellers think they don't have to bother doing much to get their house ready for sale. They think it should sell in a matter of hours or after 2 days of back to back open houses. Why bother? Because they don't have much competition at all. Wrong. Buyers still need to see a clean and well presented home that helps to inspire confidence that they aren't buying a money pit. Unless the property is being marketed as a teardown or total fixer upper, a home that appears dirty, messy, and not well maintained may cost a seller money in terms of fewer offers and less aggressive ones at that. A home may lag on the market versus being a hot commodity that everyone wants the first day it hits. In the current climate, a property that sits on the market for more than a few days may create the perception that something is seriously wrong with it. Additionally, a home that is just thrown on the market may have to substantially renegotiate with the buyer after going under contract because the same issues are. Darren?
Yeah, simply decluttering and small cleanups. I was just trying to put some numbers behind it, and what
Yeah.
came to mind is, gosh, if you put, you're probably making about $1,000 an hour at this point if you're a seller. If you put like 20 hours into decluttering, organizing, and very small touch ups, you will get 20,000 more for sure on the
Wow,
price.
man. That is a really good. Yeah, I've never heard you say it that way, but gosh, that makes a lot of sense. I like that.
The numbers are really obvious on some of these fundamental things. You get into
Let's talk
bigger
about a couple.
projects,
Hmm.
then you can. We still think the numbers are good, but at minimum, do the front loaded, easy things.
Hmm. All right. Well, let's go on to the next one. So, seller myth number two: there's no such thing as a crazy asking price. Along with not having to properly prepare their home for sale, sellers are all about defying the odds and wanting to set an overly ambitious asking price. Never mind that they want 50,000 more than the neighbor's home that came on the market 2 weeks ago that was much nicer and highly upgraded. In a market like this, sometimes it might stick and other times it might not. Given the fast pace of how properties are selling, we will know very quickly how the buyer audience will respond with a lot of showing traffic and multiple offers or not. Although we are typically seeing very few price reductions, there are a handful of listings that are lagging on the market as a result of being overpriced and having to make price reductions. Making a price reduction in a market like this also raises eyebrows with buyers and may send the signal that you are more negotiable as a result. Wow.
Yeah, it's nice to see these things in written format that we can read,
Hmm.
that are coming from our mouths.
Yeah.
And they sound kind of negative, but they're not negative. They're just, you know, even the best product you have to sell is
Yeah.
reality. It could be the most amazing thing, and the seller might be right that they have a fantastic product. But if you don't sell it, you will get less.
Yeah.
If you can't just say the product sells itself, it doesn't work
No.
that way.
No. Okay. Seller myth number three: post closing occupancy is free and guaranteed. As a seller, you have likely been able to negotiate with the buyer to stay in your home past closing on your time and terms. Some sellers expect to be able to stay at little to no cost to them. Well, it might not be that simple. With interest rates on the rise, buyers are having to pay substantially more for the same loan amount they were looking at 1 or 2 months ago. Additionally, there are complications with the buyer allowing a seller to stay in possession past closing if they are getting a mortgage. Lenders will typically allow a seller to stay in a home up to 60 days past the closing date. Anything beyond that could trigger the property to be considered investment property, and the buyer could be charged a higher interest rate. As a result, more complications can ensue with regards to obtaining homeowners insurance for the buyer and the potential risks involved by a seller occupant as far as damage, wear and tear, and repairs. Buyers have already taken some huge risks with buying a property as far as their offer price and other terms, but agreeing to allow a seller to stay in their former home for several months on end at little to no cost to them can be a harder sell as the market starts to change.
Right. Yeah, supply and demand. If the competition's there, then people are getting rent backs at no charge for
Yep.
sure.
Yep.
But the article's correct. What may have been a $4,000 or $5,000 monthly payment is now a $6,000 monthly payment.
Yep.
It's just an additional cost that the buyer is paying because they're having to pay the mortgage. So at some point, it could not make sense that we're not there now, but it's
Yep.
something to be aware of.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I wonder, again, because we find these articles that are national. I wonder if this person, it's actually an agent that wrote this opinion piece. Maybe in some other parts of the country they might be feeling it. I don't know, but we're not feeling it.
Yeah, no, we're not. They're still getting the sellers are getting the rent backs the time they want, and more often than not at no charge. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Next one. Let's see. Seller myth number 4: selling as is easy peasy. Given the current climate, sellers think they should be able to sell their home as is without making any repairs. Sometimes that is easier said than done. The words as is can often scare a potential buyer into thinking there is something major wrong, even if there isn't. Sellers need to understand that structural issues in older systems like electrical, plumbing, heating, and cooling systems nearing the end of their life, older roofs, termite damage, evidence of past moisture leaks can all be deal killers for buyers. A seller would be wise to address any known major issues prior to coming on the market.
Right, or at minimum, provide reports and disclosures that identify them.
Yeah.
Um, I think the riskiest moment um, in clearly the riskiest moment in a escrow is the inspection, and buyers have built up and they're in the honeymoon phase. They're very happy. They're super happy about getting the house. And now they're much more open to concerns that may arise. And it's then the buyer's turn to have some negotiating power potentially.
Hmm.
So if there's undisclosed things that come up at inspection, they can either change their perception of the property, maybe have a little buyer's remorse, or ask for very large credits to cover
Yeah.
the repairs.
Well, right. We talk about this, right? There's the romance part of the relationship, and then there's the, oh shoot, I'm really getting married part of it.
Right.
And
Totally.
we all experience that, as you called it, buyer's remorse, or wow, this is real. I can't just be in love. I've got to really take this seriously. Um, so it's true, very true. Okay, so next is seller myth number 5: buyers must waive contingencies. Many sellers have grown accustomed to buyers waiving their contingencies in this market. Different buyers have different risk tolerances for this. The single largest transaction someone makes in their lifetime can cause a ton of anxiety already, let alone risking waiving contingencies like the inspection, appraisal, and financing with it. Having this attitude may scare off and eliminate solid buyers from consideration. Sellers need to be cognizant of the fact that buyers, at the very least, will not want to waive an inspection contingency. They may offer to limit their time frame for inspections and other contingencies, but having the inspection, they must waive all of them. The expectation they must waive all of them is not normal, and buyers may not be as apt to do as prices continue to climb along with interest rates. When it comes to buying a home in this market, the experience can be quite frustrating, and buyers often feel like the process is an impossible mountain to climb. It can be easy to fuel misperceptions with every home that comes on the market and talk yourself out of even trying.
Right. It's a scary thing to write an
Yeah.
offer with no contingencies. You're
Yep.
putting, in most cases, you're having to put faith in multiple other people.
Yep.
Um, you're putting faith in the lender if you have a loan, and the lesser your down payment is, the more faith you're putting in them. Because when you have a larger down payment, the likelihood of something going wrong is less. Something going
Hmm.
wrong with the appraisal or qualifying for the loan.
Right.
Inspection wise, you've either been able to do a pre-inspection, been given a pre-inspection, or you're trusting your own perception or your agent's perception of condition. Um, so it happens a lot these days in our
Yeah.
property. We just went into escrow with yesterday, there were a couple very strong buyers who just were not willing to remove loan and appraisal contingencies. And it's incredibly difficult, close to impossible to get an acceptance these days with those in the mix.
Yeah.
Um, so keeping your inspection at least
Yeah.
is probably the most vulnerable. If that can stay on the table, then great.
Yeah. Yeah. The last line here in this one, where it says, every home that comes on the market and talk yourself out of even trying, referring to buyers. I don't know if you saw it, but there was a study. I don't know who did it, but it came out on CNN that the majority of uh, people in this day and age really think of being lifelong renters now. That dream of a home is getting a little further away, and that was sad to
Y-
hear. That was sad to read.
It will. I think it'll come back, and the reason I say that is from personal experience.
Uh huh.
And I know when you're, when you're 22, which is the age I could remember, you're not
Hmm.
supposed to be thinking about buying a house, but I was.
Yeah.
And it was like, that's it. The prices are nuts. They don't make any sense. And then there was a big turn in the market. Rates came down, prices came down, and I bought a house at a very young age. So we've had 10 years of prices moving up, and I think there's a lot of people, it's been difficult on their mindset. It's like they've lost confidence, right? And confidence is so important that it's even going to happen, that the
Yeah.
world is going to bend towards them because it's been bending away from them for so long. But it
Yeah.
will bend the other
Yeah.
way at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
Well, that's good to hear. All right. So now we're about buyer myth. So buyer myth number 6: I'll wait until prices come down. Many buyers decided, even as far back as a year ago, that they would sit out the pandemic real estate boom because prices were getting too high, were unattainable, and they believed that prices would come down. Those same buyers are paying significantly more for the same properties than they would have a year ago, not to mention interest rates being 1 to 1.5% higher. What buyers don't understand is it's not just about high prices, but rather about low to no inventory, which has been continuing well into 2022. In some cases, inventory levels are worse than before. The low inventory climate is not likely to change anytime soon. New construction supply continues to be constrained, and prices have risen significantly, often pricing buyers out of certain price ranges. Continuing to take a wait and see out attitude will likely further the gap between affordability relative to actual options that they want. In the meantime, rents are at an all time high, causing many would be buyers to be trapped between owning and renting, which are both getting equally expensive. There is also a tight supply of properties available for rent as more longtime owners are opting to sell and take advantage of market conditions. So, more people in the rental market.
Right?
All right, buyer myth number 7: the real estate market is going to crash. Given the rapid increase in prices, many buyers think the market will be primed to take a huge dive. Some of these buyers weren't adults during the great real estate crash of 2008. It is important to educate buyers as to how and why that happened and what led to such a dramatic down. Loose lending guidelines, first and second mortgages, armchair investors who attracted people with little financial stability to roll the dice on everything from new construction to condo conversions, among many other factors, created the perfect storm. The difference now is there is a significant amount of wealth circulating in the real estate market, and there is purchasing power like never before. As a result of the pandemic, people have decided to relocate on their time and terms versus being dictated by a particular life or job event. The run up on real estate inventory over the last 2 years caused inventory to be gobbled up at a record pace that under normal circumstances would not have happened. Jobs are plentiful, and employers are not resisting the great relocation, but rather finding ways to work with it to retain and attract top talent. Buyers waiting for the market to crash may likely be waiting for the train that never comes. In the meantime, prices continue to rise, as do interest rates, and many have been completely priced out of what they wanted to buy a year or so ago. So we talked about this last week. Darren, anything more to add on that?
No, it's a sad situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, waiting doesn't always, that's the risk you take, is that the prices will just continue to rise.
All right, buyer myth number 8. It's important for me to waive all contingencies. Many buyers think they have to waive all contingencies in order to have a competitive offer in today's climate. Not so. Buyers can have contingencies, but they need to be smart about how they structure them in an offer. This means being fully underwritten and approved by a lender before starting their home search. This will allow the buyer to shorten their financing contingency period along with the appraisal contingency. Buyers need to consider if they have the ability to guarantee a certain price to the seller should the property not appraise, and communicate that with their offer. Inspection period timeframes should also be limited to help provide certainty to a seller that all won't be dragged out for no reason. If a buyer presents an offer that shows they have their act together financially, working with a trusted lender who reaches out to the listing agent to assure them about the buyer as well as their process, and that they will work towards an expedited closing, a seller may be apt to choose their offer over others that aren't as detailed or who haven't expressed as much proactiveness in the process.
Right,
Yeah.
and the lesson there is the combination of two things. In choosing an offer, they're looking for a commitment on so many levels. The other agent, if they're engaged, because you're not going to have a direct dialogue with buyer and seller, the other agents are looking for commitment in many different small ways.
Yeah.
When they met them, how they presented their offer, the risks they're willing to take, maybe if they've written a letter,
Yep.
and then they're looking for professionalism from the agent
Yep.
in how the offer is presented, and understanding where the buyers can take risks. So being as aggressive as they can, but as professional as they can. One of the most
Yeah.
common things I say to other agents when we're in early negotiations is that I don't want to go through this whole process to not get our offer accepted. I don't want to waste my time. So I feel
Mhm.
we have a good shot at it. I feel they're committed to the purchase. Otherwise, I wouldn't be writing this offer with these terms.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Well,
it-
I mean, again, the kind of the perfect example is our recent transaction out in Palm Springs. That was an agent owner selling his property, and I think you're right, man. He was watching every little bit of how we interacted from the
right.
beginning showing to the owner being the buyer being there to how he deals with us, and he did not counter, which was really, I think, again, a big compliment for how we do business. He felt that good about it. So
Yeah,
the detail and all that helped, as you said. Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, buyer myth number 9: you can't negotiate on overpriced properties. It can be easy to think that there isn't any negotiability on properties on the market today. If a buyer is willing to focus on those that are overpriced and have been lagging on the market for a couple of weeks or have fallen out of contract a few times, they may be surprised at what kind of transaction they can put together within reason. This is not the time to go in with extreme lowball kinds of offers, but rather something reasonable while still limiting timeframes for contingencies to make it attractive to the seller. Um, yeah,
I'll say this.
yeah,
Um, Although I don't see a market shift, we certainly see a lot more dialogue about a market shift, right? There's enough
yeah,
articles that are talking about a market turn, um, and who knows how the other side sees things, right? Maybe you find the right property and the other side feels there's going to be a shift. Well, that can
hmm,
work to your benefit. So it doesn't hurt to ask. You have limited ability on the front end, but if there's not multiple offers, you're definitely going to have some more leverage and make the request.
yeah, yeah. All right, buyer myth number 10: it's better to buy an off market property. Some buyers think they will get a better deal if they can just find something not officially on the market. These buyers think there's an owner just waiting to give them a special deal not available to anyone else. Agents expend hours of time and money trying to find these listings. What buyers don't understand about off market deals is the only way for those to work is if it is on the seller's time and terms. A seller is not going to be able or not willing to compromise much. And of course, they're going to want a premium price because they're not going on the market, or they may plan to if they can't work it out with a buyer and ask even more. Sellers are very savvy and well aware of what the properties around them are going for. they aren't going to leave money on the table because they don't necessarily want to be listed. Off-market properties can also be ripe for more things to go sideways. The seller may not play by the same rules as if they were listed and might drag their feet through the transaction and perhaps threaten to change their mind. If a seller has signed a contract to sell their home to someone else, specific performance clauses still apply, but the time, expense, and hassle of trying to fight that versus trying to find another home to buy might not be worth pursuing for a buyer. Real estate markets wax and wane, and with each shift comes a whole host of myths and misperceptions by both buyers and sellers of how things will be or what to expect. In many ways, myths are a blessing to the agent that knows how to act as an advisor and trusted confidant to duly guide the buyer and seller through turbulent waters to achieve their goals on the other side. All right.
One quick comment about the off-market sale. I think they, from a seller, it's often a very emotional process. There's a lack of professionalism more often than not. Not always, but more often than not. They do change their mind or can be difficult to deal with and don't want to provide the appropriate disclosures and go through the appropriate processes that are dictated by the industry. So, yeah, even if you get an in, sometimes actually closing and completing a sale is hard. We have done a few of them, but you can see the opportunities to go sideways and for it not to work out are always close at hand in a lot of those off-market sales.
Right. Okay. Well, let's move on. We are now going off to seller wins. Let me pull them up here. Oops, hold on here. Now, Darren, I pointed out this was a shortened week for us, so talking about week to week is a little different. Hold on here. Yep, here we go. But let's see here. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with 5318 Raber Street. This started at a very humble $989,000, and it landed $691,000 over, Darren. Wow, that's some bad pricing for a sold price of $1,680,000.
What is that percentage wise? It's like it's roughly 70% increase in price. Right, you can see 680 if it started at 5 million.
Yeah,
but man,
I don't know if that's anything to brag about. Let's check it out.
Right.
Okay, so it is beautifully restored and modernized Craftsman, if I remember correctly. This is in Highland Park, 5318 Raber Street. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,282 square feet. Sold again $1,680,000. It's on a 6,300 square foot lot, and it took 23 days on the market to sell. And this is brought to us by Dave Robles and Wendy Colton at eXp Realty. And on the buy side, representing the buyer, Kyle Eisenhart at Rodeo Realty out of Beverly Hills. So yeah, I looked at these pictures before. Really beautiful place. They put, I believe it said in 2014, they did most of the remodeling. Not permitted, but it says, but engineered. How would you interpret that, Darren?
Load disbursements are the only thing that need to be engineered.
Yeah.
So there are wall movements, patio, roofing, stuff like that needs to be engineered. So.
Got it. Yeah, it says here not permitted, but with engineering plans. And then it says 2022, most of the deck was rebuilt. Second bedroom reconfigured to a stackable washer and dryer and added a closet. So they put some work into this. It looks very beautiful.
It looks nice. I agree. Um, yeah, you just have to assume it was severely underpriced.
Yep. Yep. Cool. All right. Next, we have. Let's see here. Okay. 5138 Hermosa. So this was started at 2,200,000 and sold price 2,700,000 for a $500,000 increase. And let's see here. Nope.
So this one is a house plus a second
house
unit
plus
and a
studio.
garage
Yeah.
conversion. Yeah.
They call it a compound, I think is what they said.
Right.
And it's true. Yeah. So this is in Eagle Rock, 5138 Hermosa Avenue. It's a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,469 square foot home. It's on a 9,100 square foot lot. Sold for 2,700,000, and let's see, listed at 2,200,000. Took 9 days on the market to sell. And this is brought to us by Heidi Lake and Tara Del Bosco at Sotheby's. And on the buy side, Todd Henricks at Compass represented the buyer. So again, a pretty perfect, immaculate house between character and modernization, and yeah,
Great neighborhood. It's a lovely space.
yeah. Well presented for sure.
Yep.
Just beautiful. Yeah. Cool. All right. Next, we are off to, let's see here, Roy Street. 6234 Roy Street. This started at 979,000, and it landed at a sold price of 1,310,000 for a $331,000 increase. Let's see what it looks like. More beautiful views. Let's see. This is in Highland Park. It is 6234 Roy Street. Darren, I don't know if you remember this, but we saw this house a couple years ago. Not in this condition whatsoever. See if you can. We saw this 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,189 square feet of living space on a 3,800 square foot lot. Days on market 14. And let's see here. This is brought to us by Deirdre Solomon and Stephen McAlpine at KW Capital. And on the buy side, Deirdre Solomon represented as well. Deirdre.
So it's nice. It's a smaller lot, but it's pushed all the way to the front of the street. So it has a decent sized backyard.
Which is nice. Yeah.
Yeah. It's elevated, which is always great. Yeah, it's got some, I don't know if it's the camera or the actual color, but it's got a lot of pink hues, both on the outside and on the inside. It looks like it's probably white inside, but the photos are coming out. Maybe it's just the accent pieces that are making it look that way.
Might be. Oh, that's a good observation.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, great. Congratulations to those guys. I think that's actually, in some ways, at $1,310,000, kind of a fair price for the buyer as well, maybe.
Sure, move-in ready with views.
Yeah. Okay, next is 1041 Milwaukee, and Darren, I think we saw this one too a while back. This started at $1,199,000, and it finished at $1,510,000 for a $311,000 increase. I forget if I saw this. Maybe I saw this. And you didn't see it. I don't.
I like the curb appeal with the choice of landscaping and the roof line at the front. It's an attractive house.
Yeah, it was attractive before. So yeah, they just improved on a good house. 1041 Milwaukee Avenue. This is Highland Park again. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,569 square feet of living space. It's on a 6,700 square foot lot. Took 12 days on the market to sell. And this is brought to us by Courtney Polis and Emily Sinclair at Acme. And on the buy side, Andrew Sanchez of Acme. So,
nice little detached studio there.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people do some really nice things with those modified sheds in reality.
I think I don't remember this from before, but I think another good thing that they did was because of course not many of us are huge fans of a lot of concrete, but they painted the concrete in the back and at least made it look different. Made it look nicer in some ways.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Next is buyer wins. Buyer wins start. Let's see. We'll start with 1908 Boca Avenue. I think this is El Sereno. This started at $1,199,000, and it had a $50,000 reduction to a sold price of $1,249,000. Let's take a look here. So 1041. Oh no. Oops. It's so weird, man. Like, I don't know if I'm just working too quick or my computer's too slow, but if I copy and paste too fast, it doesn't pick it up. It's the strangest thing. All right. Here we go.
It was a bold move to leave all that entire rock wall and modernize all the other elements in the house.
Oh, wow. Let me check this out.
Well, maybe it's not all modernized. I'll take that back.
1908 Boca Avenue. This is 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,917 square feet of living space on a 4,800 square foot lot. Let's see, took 25 days on the market to sell. And this is brought to us by Joanna Segoviano, Century 21 Cornerstone. And then on the buy side, Sydney Shand at Corcoran Global Living. So, gosh, man, I almost think I was in this house too. I feel like a burglar. Like I'm.
They do start looking similar. It's a big house. It doesn't have a cohesive presentation.
Yeah,
and it's not eclectic enough to have an eclectic presentation.
Yeah. I mean, my comment is, as we look at the last bit of photos here, it's like, okay, well, inside looked all right, but why not just go the rest of the way and paint the house, an attractive color? Might as well.
Yeah, it's had some generational improvements, and they didn't all come together. So good for them for getting that price.
Yeah.
I would almost call that a seller win, rather than a buyer win.
Yeah. Again, you know what? I think both should be happy on this one. You're right.
Yeah, it got good square footage in a neighborhood that's rapidly changing. But they need to do a little work to make it more cohesive, if that's what they want to do.
Let's look at. I'm sorry. Let's see. Where am I here? Oh, there it is. Let's look at 4326 Huntington Drive. And this started at, oh wow, what a great price, 685,700, and it went up to 725,000 for a $39,300 increase. A lot of concrete here. Here we go. 4326 Huntington Drive. This is El Sereno again. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 720 square feet of living space, 6,400 square foot lot. Days on market 26. Brought to us by Patty Rogel at Equity Union Real Estate. And then on the buy side, Mitra Moradifar of Compass. So somewhat updated, but
there's some updates.
Yeah.
Some good storage under the house. It's a corner lot. It's got
not much privacy though. Sitting on
no, you have to create privacy on a corner lot often, particularly if the house is elevated. Makes it even a little harder.
Yeah.
I particularly like the car cage though. If you've gotten to that photo.
In case that van gets out. Yeah.
Right. The wrought iron in front, the canopy over the top, and gosh, I cannot see how you can open the door once it's in there. Maybe it has a self-parking mechanism like the Teslas do.
Like that Tesla. Oh man. All right, next one. We're gonna go to closer to us, 4910 Los Feliz Boulevard, $3,549,000, and sold price $3,549,000. And let's see here. Talking about no privacy before, I'm sure there's a little more privacy here, but yeah, this is sitting right on Los Feliz Boulevard. So
yeah,
not a good spot, but hey, if you got $3,549,000, might be the right house for you. This is in Los Feliz, 5-bedroom, 6-bath. Wow, 3,900 square feet of living space. It's a 9,200 square foot lot. $3,549,000. Days on market, it was fast, 11. This was brought to us by our friend Charlie Clark at Compass. And on the other side, Robert Panosian over at South State Real Estate Management. So beautiful house. I don't know what you can say.
Clean. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything you would want for that price, it seems. All right. Next one is, gosh, though, Darren, I know we talked about this with somebody recently, but being on Los Feliz Boulevard, how could you get more privacy out of that? Really?
Taller hedges.
Yeah, right? Just kind of break some rules.
Well, hedges, they don't have restrictions. Well, they may, but the restrictions on fences are pretty straightforward.
So hedges we can get away with.
They're way looser with hedges.
Yes. All right. Okay, so now we go to 2912 Covina Street. This listed at $800,000, and it sold at $800,000. Let's see. So 2912 Covina Street, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,130 square feet of living space. There it goes. $800,000, and that's on a 3,500 square foot lot. 53 days on the market. And this is brought to us by Woney Kim at Wonsuk Kim Real Estate. And on the buy side, Mila Hansen at Remax. So I think that's a great deal.
Yeah, it's a very interesting triangular lot. It's a very small lot.
Mm-hmm.
There really is no backyard, just parking.
So you got to do something with that. You got to do something with that front yard then, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. That's
really
where you need your hedges for privacy again. But yeah, it's really clean. Looks like a nice remodel. So I agree for that price. Move in ready.
What a
Got everything
strange
you
lot.
need.
You're not kidding, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. That is it for seller and buyer wins this week. Let's go ahead and move to new listings, at least since Thursday. Uh, let me see. Oh, here. Let me do this. Let me go to that. Let's see. Sent. Can't find what I sent you. So, all right. Here we go. We're gonna have to depend on you on what you're saying. You just tell me.
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
2310 Vestal.
Okay.
There's a couple in
23.
Echo Park that I like.
Yeah. 2310 Vestal.
Yes.
Okay. Here it is. Oh yeah. So this is 3 bedroom, 3 bath, 2,300 square feet, listing at 1,699,000. It's on a 7,500 square foot lot. It's all of 1 day on the market, and this is brought to us by,
Still pending interior photos.
oh my goodness, Melissa Z, Keller Williams Beverly Hills, and Brian Katz, Keller Williams Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
That's
Good
it.
price, great street. Um, it's hard to tell from the outside about the condition. It looks like it
Yeah.
might have some wear. So we'll see on the interior photos.
Okay.
Um, 22 what 2216 Valentine Street. I think is a really good price. They're
Oh
pushing it
yeah,
as a rebuild, but
I saw that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great street.
When I looked this up, Darren, yeah, the agents are out of Newport Beach, so
Yeah,
maybe that's why.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, let's take a look at the photos here. Neat stuff here. 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,300 square feet, almost 1,400 actually, on a 5,800 square foot lot. 1,100,000 is the list price. Days on market 1, and brought to us by Ashley Lee at Compass and an Amy Sue at Compass.
Sure.
Yeah, untouched. Looks great. Someone's going to make this beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's very well priced. So. Another good value is 966 Sanborn.
966 Sanborn. Okay.
All of one exterior photo.
What's this? Why can't they just wait? Yeah, look at this. Looks like a church almost. 966 Sanborn Avenue, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,100 square feet of living space. 725,000. Awesome. 5,300 square feet of lot. It's been 3 days on the market. Brought to us by John Matukas at EXP Realty.
That one's
Um,
got to be sold already. I guarantee you they have cash offers in hand already.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Why cut the grass? Just sell it. There you go. All right.
Then there's
Next.
another great one, which we've been seeing a few lately.
Hmm?
2403 Hill Drive.
2403 Hill. Hey, oh wow, look at this. You're right, man. This is for our people. 2403 Hill Drive, 5 bedroom, 5 bath, 3,700 square feet of living space. Wow, great courtyard. 2,949,000, 25,531 square foot lot. This will be open. Let's see, is it Thursday? Yeah, Thursday, 11 to 2, and then Saturday, I believe, 2 to 5. Beautiful. Good
Yeah,
Lord.
it's a lovely property.
Is
There was
there?
one that sold recently for 3.5 million. I believe, this will exceed it.
Yep. Yep. This is brought to us by, look at him, Charlie Clark.
Mm,
Ding, ding, ding. Good for him.
yeah,
Wow.
he lives up in the Eagle Rock area.
Beautiful.
All
Well,
right.
well staged, simple. That's great.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
super clean.
yeah.
Um, Kemper, 1517 Kemper, small house, great little pocket.
1517 Kemper. There it is. Cypress Park. Uh, 1517 Kemper Street, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, 520 square feet, $699,000. Wow, 5,500 square foot lot. Again, 421, they'll have an open 10 to 2, and then 423, 1 to 4. Days on market just came out, 0. This is brought to us by Thomas Mastorani and Catherine Stallings at Dilbeck. It looks big
Cool.
for some reason.
It does. It looks substantially bigger than the 520 square feet.
Let's see. Did you see some lower area there?
Yeah, a little bit. I like this next one. I think we can finish up on it on 662 Burwood.
662 Burwood.
I like the photography on this one.
662 Burwood Terrace. This is Highland Park. 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,750 square feet of living space on a 5,500 square foot lot. $1,350,000. 1 day on the market. Brought to us by Douglas Stockley over at EXP Realty. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, it's a lot of outdoor living space.
So,
Yeah.
and then you've got that view.
Yeah. The patios all look out onto the view.
Wow, almost reminds me of your space out there, man.
Yeah. The close trees are nice. Feels
Yeah.
very nature-like when you have large trees that close.
Look at that. That's the shot right there.
Yeah.
That gives it all to you, though. That one, boom. It's a wrap here at Real Estate Reality. Guys, thanks for joining us. Darren, any parting shots here as we go to the next appointment? I know I always say that, and then we're never ready to say anything. But
yeah, I feel like we put it all out there early on, Yeah, watch rates. The question is, will rates hover back down?
well, okay, yeah, not to end on a downer, but yeah, did I see something like 7% somewhere?
Oh no, I haven't seen that number.
Yeah, I think that was today.
Wow.
Yeah, guess it's time to go to the 10-1 arms, huh? Just don't look
Interest
back.
only are being moved to the forefront again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
If there's a place for interest only. It's not. Uh, Often, it's not buying your first house to
Hmm.
try to make it affordable unless you have a long career ahead of you and you have great potential that you can clearly define. Maybe.
Hmm.
Because the problem is if you're counting on appreciation, not an interest only, or you already have appreciation, so you can put a really big down payment and get an interest only loan, and then you're fine. You
Yeah.
know, your balance
Yeah.
isn't being paid down. Okay, no big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
But if it's a low down interest only, any shift in the market creates a lot of vulnerability. And I think as an agent, one thing I would like to see is stability going forward, whatever direction that means, up
Hmm.
or down. Stability creates just the big swings,
Yeah.
prevents them. So that's my preference.
Okay. I think that was good to end it all. Guys, have a great week. We'll talk to you later. We'll see you next week. Bye now.
Bye.